Hey everyone. In this video, I am not going to give you guys tips on how to improve your chess openings, your chess middle game, your end games, tactics, positional play, none of that. Neither of these tips that I'm going to share with you guys today have anything to do with any of that because you can just simply go on chess.com and do some drills, some lessons. You can watch YouTube videos. There is no shortage of educational material on the internet to improve your openings, middle games, tactics, and so on and so forth. But what I am going to share with you guys, if you can give me about 10, 15 minutes of your time, is 2 tips to shift your mindset to get unstuck, especially if you are stuck at a certain rating. You're not really sure why. You've watched all these videos, read books maybe, improved your openings, and you're still not able to break that barrier. So I hope these help you guys. If they do, please think to like, subscribe, and comment. And without further ado, let's get started. So 2 tips. First tip is the notion that every move matters. When you are playing chess, you need to develop the mindset that every single move matters. And what I mean by that specifically is that the moment your opponent plays, even the first move, it means something, because not only it means that it's a certain opening that you're facing. They could play d4 instead of e4. They could play c4. From the very beginning, the very first move, there is meaning. And if we dive deeper into that, let's say you're in the middle game, right? Every single move has a potential plan. So it could be attacking you on the king side. It could be busting open the center. It could be a plan to long castle, and who knows? Every single move has a potential threat. So they could be threatening a fork, a skewer. They could be threatening a check. They could be threatening checkmate. And at the same time, this is extremely important as well, especially those of you who are stuck around 1600 ELO, I would say. Every single move is a potential mistake, careless move, passive move made by your opponent. What I mean by that is maybe they're not developing their piece on the right square. Maybe they made a backwards move that just doesn't make any sense. And those need to be punished. At a certain level, you need to know how to recognize your opponent's mistakes or blunders and punish them. So every move has meaning. And why this is important is because, especially for those of you who play at much faster time controls, let me just give you the example of myself, okay? We're going to take a look at my own chess journey, which as it stands right now is about 4.5 years, something like that. So first of all, I was obsessed with Blitz. Okay, this is my chess.com rating chart. I knew how to play chess, lost a couple games to random people at like parties and stuff, and then was just like, I hate this. Like, I want to get better so that I can beat them. That was basically the beginning motivation. And then Queen's Gambit came out. Actually, it came out right after I really started playing. And then like COVID, quarantine, and chess streamers, Hikaru, Chess Bras. Anyhow, so I started. Yeah, you guys can see here we're at like 500 ELO or so, and then I just was playing on my phone all the time. Eventually, I took it more seriously, started playing on a computer, but this was like almost exclusively Blitz. I was almost exclusively playing 3-minute Blitz, not even 3-minute 2-second increment Blitz, 3-minute Blitz. And that is the majority to this day in terms of time. That is the majority of my chess journey, was just blitzing out chess at 3 minutes. Like, I was just still playing tons of Blitz here. I made it to about 1400. And at this point, I think, I even almost hit 1500. So I like on a really good day, I had hit 1400. Bam, I almost got to 1500. And then I just like plateaued. Couldn't get better. That was when I hired my first chess coach. It really helped. And that was also when I started playing rapid chess. And let me tell you guys, if I had started the journey back here at 400, 500 and adopted this mentality, like maybe I hired a chess coach and they're like, stop playing 3-minute Blitz and start implementing what I'm going to teach you, the base principles, develop your pieces, put your pieces on good squares, don't move the same piece twice in the opening, control the center, blah, blah, blah. If I just made that like my chess religion and took the time I needed to focus on that, anti-blunder check, verify your opponent's checks, captures, attacks, my progress would have been way faster. Let me just tell you guys. So whether you're at 1500 and you want to get to 1700, whether you're at 1500, you want to get to 2000, whatever the difference is, right? In chess, there's always this notion of, I'm here, here's my rating, and there's what I want to be. And everyone has different goals. Everyone has different ways they want to achieve that. And so this notion of improvement, gaining rating, being stuck is always present in chess. Simply getting to 1500 elo, more or less, just means stop blundering. So if you just were to do nothing else with your chess other than try not to blunder like whole pieces, try not to lose a knight for free or a bishop or even worse, a rook or a queen, you're already going to increase in elo. Why? Because of course, anyone under about 1500, 1600 elo blunders almost every single game in a major way. And if you are just able to not blunder yourself and take advantage of your opponent's blunder, you're going to win. You're going to win like, I don't know, 90% of your games. And so that's super important. And if we think about, well, how do we not blunder as much? Option number one, don't think a lot. Don't pay too much mind to your opponent's moves. That sort of approach that you might have in Blitz and Bullet and so on. That's option number one. Or option number two is every move that my opponent makes matters. And I want to consider it, look at it, consider what his plan might be, see if there's a check, capture, attack. Every move matters. And to give you guys an example of this, right? Because it's just to show you, it's not just me and my thinking process. I'm also referring to some of the best, chess players, and I think that they would agree as well. Like if you guys watch Daniel Naroditsky, any one of his speedrun videos, okay, yes, he's explaining things in an educational way, so he's taking the time to explain every single move, but look at one of his games. You can tell that this is just automatic. This is what he does automatically. He goes through a game that he's playing, and he's like, okay, the first mistake, like almost every single game, the first mistake the opponent makes, he will spot it, and he will explain why it's a mistake. He will explain why, it's not the best move, and what the best move is in response based on that move. Every single move matters in those videos, and that's why it's so educational. You watch them because they'll be able to look at every move and break it down and be like, this is important, that's important, and here's why. So yeah, all of that is tip number one. Just quite simply, every move matters. Pay attention, allow yourself the patience, and especially if you have the time. I get it. If you guys are playing a 10-minute rapid game, 15-minute rapid game, it might be like, give yourself 20 seconds to try to think about those things. Make it like a habit that or a routine that every single move you try to go through the checks, captures, attacks. Consider your opponents, and then you play to make sure you're not losing on time. Tip number two is basically to have the awareness of where you are right now, the characteristics that define that. In terms of, let's say, 1000 elo. 1000 elo players tend to play in a certain way, even if they play different openings. There tends to be the same level of mistakes, the same frequency of mistakes and blunders and this and that. And there's a difference between even a 1000 elo player and a 1200 or 1300 elo player, even if it's slight. And so you need to recognize what is typical for your level, the blunders you're making, the mistakes you're making, right? And what is different? What's the difference between you and a 1600, 1700, or 2500 rated player, whatever that rating gap may be? You have to recognize what they're doing that you are not doing, and how to get there. And this kind of comes back then to the notion of every move matters, because it's this, you need to have this mentality that at any moment when you're playing a chess game, you are probably going to make a stupid move, because and I don't mean that like in a mean way, I'm just saying if you're at a 1000 rating, you need to be aware every move that you're playing, every game that you're playing, I'm playing like a 1000. I need to see where I'm making these mistakes and change them. And that implies this sort of meta awareness of your own moves. Basically, to sum it up, just being aware of your mistakes. You need to constantly be searching for your own mistakes and change them. Again, this comes back to playing chess in really fast time controls like Blitz and Bullet. But for the sake of getting better in the way that I'm talking about, it's nice to have that extra time to look at your moves and try to see what you're doing that might not be that good. And this notion is super important, because I run into a lot of people, who play chess. Sometimes, like just the other day, we were at a park on a holiday here over in France, and it was gorgeous sunny day. It was just filled with people, and two guys behind us, right behind us, happened to be playing chess. Of course, I had to stand up and go check out the game and chat with them a little bit, invite them to my chess night in Paris, and of course, the question, oh, what elo are you at? Oh, okay, what elo are you at? And one of the guys was 1600, he said, on chess.com, which is like pretty strong. He was making out to be like he wasn't that good or whatever, but like 1600 is still pretty good. And then he talked about being stuck, that he's been kind of stuck, and okay, why do we plateau? And I told him how I had plateaued for quite a while at 1500 and then again at 1700. Why do we plateau? How do we fix that? And basically, it's really simple, guys. If you are stuck at a certain rating, you somewhere in your chess, that means that you are unaware of your own mistakes. Because if you were aware of your mistakes, you wouldn't make them, right? No one knowingly, or very rarely, knowingly blunders. You don't do that if you see a better move. So the idea is that you are unaware of your own mistakes, of your own shortcomings. How do you become aware of your own mistakes and shortcomings to get better and to improve? Well, awareness. You need to pay attention. Every move matters. There's certain techniques in memory, for example. There's different memorization techniques, all sorts of them, and one of the most successful techniques with memorization is when you are associating a piece of information with another piece of information. And there's this sense of like, it's almost like, network of meaning, where this is connected to that, and this is connected to that. This reminds me of that, blah, blah, blah. It's a really good way to remember things. And so when you're playing a chess game, this also might be, like when I say every move matters, this also might be, oh, okay, my opponent played this move, right? Like, how often do you guys hear grandmasters or really, really strong players play a game and they're like, oh yeah, I remember my opponent in 1998 played this move, or I played this opening and whatever, and they have this insane memory. Every move, every position, they are seeing it, and pattern recognition. They're remembering some position they had in the past, and maybe what their opponent played, or what they played, and it ended up being the wrong move. Whatever. Every move that they are facing, you can bet your ass that a grandmaster, that masters very, very often are seeing that move, recognizing it, thinking about something else, some other game they played, some other game they watched or they saw, and trying to remember what the best move is, or what the thinking process is, what the plans are. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope that there is some sense that this was structured in some sort of way. I tend to ramble, and that's just how my brain works. But just to basically sum up these 2 points once again for you guys. First point is that every move matters. Every move is a potential blunder, implies a potential plan, attack, check, capture, whatever. Give yourself the time to see those moves, and just give yourself that patience and awareness to look at your opponent's moves and your own moves and think about them, right? Calculate, think about them. That is what will help you go beyond where you are now. And the second notion is simply the notion of going beyond, meaning recognizing where you are now and the gap between there and where you want to go, and how to get there. And the way to get there is simply awareness, that recognition, sort of meta awareness or recognition of your own mistakes and how to fix them. And the first step in fixing them and changing your play style to get better is being aware of your mistakes in the first place, right? You can't get better. You can't fix something if you're not even aware of where the issue is. You can't fix a car if there's an oil leak, but you think it's some other problem. The oil will keep leaking so long as you do not recognize that it's an oil leak and it needs to be fixed. You're not going to get better. You're not going to fix it. So that is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are interested, I do still publish videos on my journey to 2000 FIDE. Currently, I am at 1755 FIDE, and my journey to 2000 ELO on chess.com, which has petered out a little bit just because I've taken a step back from online chess. But, I still am going to play some and stream some. So if you guys want to check either of those out, I will put links in the description, maybe a video right here in the center or somewhere, on the screen. And subscribe, please. Comment below if you guys like this, and check out the live streams as well. And I will catch you in the next video.